Hello, I'm John McAllister with the John McAllister Sports Report. Today we're going to do something totally different I've not done before, ever before. I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm sure there'll be some kinks. I'm sure there'll be some fundamentally sound good things and some bad things. So Massillon hosts Cleveland Glenville tomorrow night, Friday night. Massillon and Glenville play. And so what I thought would be cool is to talk to both coaches and get a perspective on the game, get maybe some of their background a little bit, and talk about what they have coming back and what they're going to do, things like that. And not very long, just wanted you to kind of meet those guys and listen to them, what they have to say. Couldn't get what I wanted out of them, so we'll do them separately, but they're going to be back to back. Coach Moore, Nate Moore, will be first and then followed by Ted Ginn. And if you'll just sit back, I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, my guest today is Nate Moore, the head football coach at Massillon, Washington, and hopefully we're going to have Coach Ginn on a little bit later. I'm going to talk about the big upcoming game this week with Glenville at Massillon and on Friday night. Coach, how big of a game from the brand standpoint, from the culture standpoint, from the winning standpoint, how big a game is this?
It's a huge game. I think it's two of the elite programs in the state of Ohio, but also two of the elite brands. People know Massillon and people know Glenville, and Glenville has a great reputation. They've won 2 state championships here recently. Nobody's put more guys in Ohio State than Glenville has, and Coach Ginn. It's a premier matchup with 2 great brands, 2 great programs, and we're looking forward to it.
Okay, how did your summer program go?
We've had a great off season. Started right from January. This has been a group of guys that we may not be the most talented group on paper, like we have in other years, but they've been great teammates, very hard workers. Very good level of discipline to start us off with the off season, and all those things they've done a great job of, and so we had a great off season. The guys worked really hard. We stacked a lot of bricks, and that rolled us into our preseason, and we had a nice preseason. 2 great scrimmages against Avon and Moeller, and so it's been very productive.
Yeah, the scrimmages, I was being sarcastic. Avon and Moeller, for heaven's sakes. Massillon, I don't know if it gets much better in a 3-way. Scrimmages, how much do you get out of scrimmages?
So I think you get a lot. For us, it's all about development, and it's one of the reasons why we want to play, especially in our scrimmages, as good a teams as we possibly can. Because the worst thing that could happen to you as far as week 1 is rolling into week 1 thinking you're something you're not.
Right.
And that could happen when you play when you scrimmage people that maybe aren't very good or, don't play the game in a certain way, those types of things. And so we want to scrimmage as good a teams as we can because we need to be exposed. If we have weaknesses, if we have technique issues, schematic issues, personnel issues, we need those things exposed right away in early August. We don't want those things exposed week 1.
I think the toughest game sometimes is the first game. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get a lot better the second game. But the first game, because, how you look at videos, that's about all you have are scrimmage videos. And maybe if you played a team last year, you can look at that. But how tough is that? How tough is the first game?
Yeah, it's unique because in your scouting and film exchange, you don't have any games of that season to go off of. So there's a lot that is kind of guesswork as far as what you think that you're going to get out of a certain team. So that's a lot different. But you do have a greater opportunity usually to get some scouting done live, which is an advantage.
Right.
There's pluses and minuses, and then just like I mentioned earlier, like with us, like we're not 100% sure who we are yet. We haven't been out and played in a real game yet, so there's a lot of unknowns going into week one.
I always think too, Coach, as an old coach, scrimmages, if I got to go, you always get a sense of the atmosphere. You get a feel for where those kids are, and I remember I was at Lakota, and we'll go back to I may even cut a little bit of this out. Well, I was at Lakota first year, and they had won 3 games in 4 years before that. But I went to watch Clyde, and they played I think Plymouth or somebody, just beat the snot out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the snot out of them. The next one I saw them play Oak Harbor, and Oak Harbor, they pushed them around, beat them up. So I'm thinking, there's some weakness there.
Right.
There's some, maybe they're not as good as I thought they were. Well, we ended up beating them 32-13, but that was an upset. But anyway, I think scrimmages, you get a lot out of them, more as much as formations and all this stuff. You get a feel for the game. Okay,
Sure.
As you look ahead, who do you have coming back, Coach? Who are some of the kids that I know I read someplace you said you were young, and you had a pretty good veteran team last year. Who are some of the players to watch this year?
Well, Jaden Williams is definitely a player to watch. He's a returning starter and returning captain for us as a senior. Where's number 9? He'll be headed to University of Indiana after this football season. But there's a couple other guys in our senior class that had great seasons last year for us in return. One of those guys is Trayon Williams. Trayon played safety for us last year and had a really fine season as a junior last season. Great speed, really good tackler, and he's got a Division I offer from Kent State currently as well. Logan Allman is another guy who wears number 13. Started for us at inside linebacker last year. He's actually going to put his hand down and play some defensive line for us this year, and he'll see some time at tight end as well. And goes 6'2", 240 pounds. So he's outgrown inside backer a little bit. So he's going to be playing some D line for us. And then as far as young guys,
one more guy.
Okay.
Maybe he's only going to be a junior. I'm getting back into the business a little bit. I've been working on juniors, 27 class. Do you have a defensive lineman that's pretty good as a junior, or a defensive back? Dante or
yes, Deontay Malone.
Yeah,
Deontay is he's a 27. So he's going into his junior season, and he stands about 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. And played quite a bit for us last season, and he's definitely one of our top guys going into this season. He'll wear number 6, and he'll start for us at corner and attempt to cover the other team's best receiver. And then he'll spend a lot of time on offense as well. He's a very dynamic player. He may even have a couple touches in the backfield. We'll see.
That's really good. Quarterback situation solved?
Yeah, so our starter's Manuel Patterson. Manny won that. We had a great quarterback battle through the preseason, and Manny won the job. He's a very accurate thrower. And he goes 5'11", 145 pounds. So he's not the biggest guy in the room, but he does a good job reading his progressions, and he's very accurate with the football. So we're looking for big things out of Manny.
That's really good. One guy always sticks out in my mind because I have an ego as well. He's playing offensive line either at Wisconsin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when we had always talked about him, and I said, I told you, it's not where he is now. It's where he's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. He's doing pretty well, isn't he?
Yeah. Nolan's doing an excellent job at Wisconsin. He's running with the twos currently.
Yeah.
And so to do that as a true freshman at University of Wisconsin on the offensive line, that's pretty stellar. So we're really proud of him.
That's exactly what I wanted you to tell me. When he was younger, he wanted to be a tight end, didn't he?
Right. Yeah, he did.
He might make money playing offensive line rather than tight end. Who knows?
He got a shot, definitely.
Really good. I was going to ask you, what do you expect from Glenville then? I mean, they're going to have speed. They're going to have those. What do you expect from Glenville?
Yeah, they're fast and big. So that's a dangerous combination, as you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's speed everywhere. All the offensive skill positions, great speed everywhere. And then also on the defense, really at all three levels on the defensive, on their defense, they run really well to the ball. They play a ton of man coverage, and so there's no windows that you're throwing into in man coverage. There's no holes in the zone you're throwing into. Like everybody's got somebody covered down on them. So things are going to be different for the quarterback in the throw game with all the man coverage, and then you got to know where that free player is. Because he's just staring at the quarterback, trying to undercut a route and get a turnover. And then like I said, when you're man coverage, that you get to equate numbers in the run game.
Right.
So there's going to be a player in the run game that we can't block, that our back's going to have to be really, really good and make a guy miss. So, and then they have a big nose tackle headed to Ohio State and a middle linebacker headed to Ohio State as well. So. Very formidable defense for Coach Ginn and the Tar Blooders, and a great challenge for us. And they're huge on the offensive line as well. A lot of zone run game, and really good at it. They're all coached up really well. They've had a lot of guys play the running back position in their scrimmages, and they all run hard, John. Really good group of guys back there.
Fast and hard.
Absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Here's my last question for you. I was a former head coach. What goes through your mind on Fridays? The hay's in the barn. Yeah. The hay's in the barn.
Right.
But what goes through your mind on Fridays?
It's just making sure everybody understands all their last minute preparations, making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be prepared in the way that they're supposed to be prepared, and try to make sure that we get to 7 o'clock and we are primed and to the highest degree that is possible for our performance that night, and so making sure that we're ready to go. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, all those things together. And so that when the ball kicks at 7 o'clock, we're at our best.
That's good. I do have one more comment. I would be remiss if I didn't mention your top assistant coach, the top assistant coach. Right. How's Becca doing?
Yeah, she's doing great. We lost her mom here recently.
Well,
Yeah. So tough couple weeks here in the Morehouse, but that's nobody gets out alive, and the best you can hope for is a life well lived, and her mom had a great influence on her, and really everybody around her. She was in education too, and so it's been tough on her, but every day is going to get a little bit easier, but those big moments are always going to be tough, but
I'm still blowing out for about 3 hours, probably Friday night.
Yeah, and that's the reward we get for being able to be around great people, is you get to miss them when they're gone, and so it's.
Well, my sympathies to Becca, and I'm sure I'll say hi to her at the game. Looking forward to seeing you this Friday night. Okay.
Thanks, John. Great to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm going to try something different here. I have Coach Ginn from Cleveland Glenville on right right after Nate Moore, but they play each other this week, and I thought it'd be nice to get a perspective right on both guys from both coaches. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there just like you, I think, although I'm a little bit older than you are. Okay,
Not much.
not much. How did the summer go, Ted? How did you do? You do a lot of 7-on-7s and things like that in the summer.
I did a few, probably more than I normally do.
Did you?
I don't really concentrate on 7 too much, but I
Okay,
did
that's
a
what I
lot
was going
more
to
than
ask you. Well, what do you get out of 7-on-7s, Ted?
a problem. I get a problem because it's helmets and shorts, and
Yeah,
you have to reteach a lot of things. It's not real football to me.
yeah.
You can the only people kind of benefit from it is the DBs and maybe the receivers, but it's not real football. So you got to come back and reteach some things.
Yeah. Plus, I think sometimes it sounds silly. I've watched a lot of games. You take the aggressiveness out of kids a little bit because you only pads on. So if they bump somebody or knock somebody down, heck, all of a sudden there's all kind of hassles, and it's not really their fault because they're supposed to be aggressive, but with no pads on, it's different. I think.
Yeah,
How do,
absolutely.
how, Coach? How do you uh, get ready for the season? Then do you do all summer with meetings and things like that, or not?
No, I mean I don't have meetings. I do a lot of conditioning and try to install some things. But I do weightlifting and conditioning more
Right.
and doing fundamental stuff.
That's really good. That's what I thought. Okay, you got a big game coming up. High brand teams, really good teams, excellent programs, excellent coaches. Is it a big game for you?
Absolutely. Ohio got the best coaches in the country to me. You know, Starting out with Massillon and the other 4 games I got. You know, these are some of the best coaches in America. So
Yeah,
in
for
high
sure.
school, so it's big.
It's for sure. And the bigs are playing the bigs now, I think, more because of the playoff system. You know,
And I think also not only just for the playoff system, a lot of times people don't want to play the teams that they think is quality, and so it make us have to play each other.
yeah. What about, yeah, that's true. And I'm more traveling sometimes. What about, I read someplace, and we'll get going here. I read someplace where you have 5 city games or Senate League. Do they still call it that? I don't know. City League in Cleveland. Then you have 5 independents. Is that works to your advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, no, you know what I'm saying. Uh, it's good to work, you know, 5 out of league games,
Uh-huh.
but you know.
Is
I
it
would
hard?
say it worked to my advantage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's something I have to do.
yeah, yeah. You and I have joked about that stuff for years. There are probably a lot of Ted Ginn rules in the OHSA, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
well,
think there's a whole section on Ted Ginn rules.
that's right,
But
Glenville again.
yeah,
We we don't have none of the things that everybody else have, but we got more rules than anybody.
yeah,
It's just their perception, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying,
I know.
of who we are as a program, you know.
That's good. Well, who do you have coming back? I know you got your quarterback back. He's played a lot, and then tell me just some of the top guys. 2 kids going to Ohio State, I know.
Yeah.
Defensive lineman. Go ahead. I'll let you talk about these.
Well, I got Sincere, you got JJ, them 2 going to Ohio State. I got a couple of kids that's going to um, um, Bowling Green and Buffalo. I'm not sure. A couple of kids got a lot of Ivy League
That's really good.
offers they haven't committed. I got some linemen that have offers to a lot of the MAC schools and some of the Division II schools. So I have at least 10 kids that have
Okay.
offers. You know, if you look at the back end of my defense, I think it's only one kid out of that 11 that don't have Division I offers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's really good. What about who's your running back? You usually have a stud running back every year.
Well, we got Romeo back, and we got a couple young guys that played last year.
Yeah.
Marley, kids like that. We got McDougal. We got about 4 guys. You know what I'm saying? CJ, we'll throw him in every so often.
Yeah. Who's the best junior? I have a whole list of Ohio kids that I've gotten back into this stuff a little bit, evaluations, and I'm working on only juniors and that's 8 or 28s, sophomores. Who give me a little homework? Who's your best junior right now? Or one of the best?
Obviously, you got to talk about Kaline,
Yeah.
Bailey. He that's the first junior that
Okay.
popped out for me. But I got some receivers that I think is good.
Okay. How do you prepare for the crowd at Massillon and the fans and stuff? How do you because it's going to be a big crowd. How do you prepare for that?
You constantly tell them about the environment they going into. This is probably the biggest crowd that these kids have experienced. I've been talking to Sincere and them. Y'all been here since freshmen. This is bigger than the state championship.
Yeah.
We haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
So what you do is you try to mentally get them ready. We can't lose our mind. It's going to be a lot of distractions. You got to stay focused on what you come there to do, and that's to play football.
Yeah, exactly. And Massillon's pretty good football program right now. I think they've got some young guys, right? You got quite a few older guys, don't you?
Yeah.
Seniors. I just going through some things. Offensive line's pretty old, big and old, aren't they? They're older kids, aren't they?
Yeah. I got 3 seniors on there. The other 2 guys are young.
Okay.
My center last year was a freshman, so
he was.
Yeah.
What was his? Okay. I'm just trying to think if I knew that. I took a year off, and now I'm getting back into it a little bit. Okay, Coach, how do you prepare for them? You're pretty much a man up team, right? In the secondary, do you do both?
We might three different ways. We can man you up. We can cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. We can do whatever depending on the situation.
What do you see coming from them? I mean, what do you see they have? I mean, no big secrets, but I mean, what do you see? What impresses you about Massillon so far? Players,
you always think of great teams and great programs. I don't judge coaches or teams. I think that all the teams are good teams and great teams, well coached.
Yeah.
I think that what impresses me with them is that they're Massillon. They're a well coached, big program. I think it's very ridiculous when people start talking about how somebody's program is, this, that, and the other. If you playing a great program, I would never talk negative about that program.
Okay, I just have because I make this two more questions, maybe 3. Ted, how being the first game, you're at a disadvantage, or so is Massillon. They haven't seen any real games yet. So how do you do? Do you scout scrimmages pretty hard, or you get video, or how do you do that?
Well, I scout scrimmage games and we exchange film. But, what do you get out of that? They're not playing you. It's like I'm not playing Massillon. So, what do that mean? You know what I'm saying? I hear people talk all the time, well, the team is this, the team is that. But yet still this team is not playing you. You're playing the team that I'm playing. So, things are different. We take film and we look at the basic stuff in it, but I've been like this all my life. I think that we you get different techniques and different tendencies and things off of film, but they're not playing you and you're not playing them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just get you a little bit get a little bit idea of what they do. They still, you have to play them to determine that.
So would you ascribe? See, I used to think that if you early in the game, if you're really coaching hard, you get a feel for what they're going to do the rest of the game. First couple series, maybe you can get an idea, or especially coaching defense, what they're going to do if you're on the offensive side. Do you think, or anything? Do you get a feel for the game once it gets going?
Absolutely. I think that you get a feel for the game on how you play. I think that your mindset is important because it all goes back to basic fundamentals. And if you're gonna use your helmet and shoulder pads. You know what I'm saying? So, when you use your helmet and shoulder pads, a scheme don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you come and hitting and playing and being fundamentally sound, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? So it's based on you as a player and as a team, is who gonna take it. And stay fundamental sound, don't make mistakes. For sure. So I don't know. Sometimes, coaching and people talk all the time, about how great you can be. You only great is your players. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you, I totally agree with you here. But if you got better Jimmys than I do, and I got Joe's, you're going to beat me most of the time. If your players are better, you're going to beat me most of the time. And no matter what scheme, I agree with you. And the other thing I'm off on a tangent, but what it gets me, they talk about these recruiters, these evaluators, and they say, who are the best evaluators? Well, they always come up with the top programs. They're not necessarily the best evaluators. I mean, the best evaluators could be on a team that's not very good, but they're working hard to evaluate and stuff like that. So I can never figure out like who are the best recruiting coordinators. Well, if you got the big programs, you're going to get the best players. I mean, and that makes you look good. So
I don't know, man. This is football and coaching and all that stuff is funny. Everybody is a coach. Everybody can coach. I don't know how you judge that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Ohio State Jim Tressel type guy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever program you came in, where you learned from, but it goes back to basic fundamentals. It goes back to don't make mistakes. You could be the best coach if the kids make mistakes. Does that make you a bad coach? Does that make you can't coach? No, the kids make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
And all this type of stuff, McAllister, at the age I am now, just like when we look at the kids in the hot dog and in the hype stuff, I don't like that because I just don't think kids can celebrate and concentrate at the same time. I just don't think their attention span is like that, you know. And you know, why you think you need to celebrate when it took 10 more people to help you get there?
Yeah.
Why you think you need to do it by yourself?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, man. You know, it's so commercial, man, with this football stuff, man.
Yeah.
You
No,
can't dig down deep with them. You know, kid hands swole. Well, I used to think my hands should be swole after the game. I mean, I played.
yeah. Yeah.
So they get hands swollen because it's football, it's contact,
Yeah.
it's physical game.
Yeah.
You hitting, you know what I'm saying? You don't think you gonna get a bruise or this, that, and the other, but so I don't know, man. It's
Very good. Let's see. And the very best to you Friday night. And you know I'm going to be at the game, and you know I'm a Ginn guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
absolutely. You know I'm a McAllister guy, so you know we can't talk like we want to on this.
If we said the things, heck, I'd be the biggest racist, and you'd be the biggest racist in the world.
That's right. That's right. So we have to be cool on how we talk.
Ted, thank you very much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate you doing this.
Yeah,
See you on Friday.
absolutely.